guys, this is Mr. Make It Make Sense coming to you here in the great state of Mississippi. As you can see, I just purchased my very first Mopar. It's a Dodge Charger SRT 392. For those of y'all that are familiar with the Mopars, you understand the difference between the SRT and the Scat Pack. If you're not familiar, do a little research. If you're in the market to buy one of these cars, I really just want to give you some advice or some things to think about. If you have someone in the market, if you know a brother, a son, a friend, a nephew, or a boyfriend, or somebody that's interested in buying one of these cars, be sure that you have the conversation with them about the responsibilities of owning, a car of this nature, whether it be a RT, Scat Pack, 392 SRT, Hellcat, Demon, whatever, even if it varies over into the Camaro SS's, the ZR1s, the Mustangs, the Bosses, and all of those different varieties of sports cars or high performance cars. Make sure that the conversation is had, that it's not just going out purchasing one of these vehicles, because there's a serious responsibility as it relates to owning one of these vehicles. And I want to go over that, just briefly. As I said, this is my first Dodge Mopar. I've been interested in a Charger for a while, but I never really committed to getting one because of quite a few things, that had me kind of on the fence. For one thing, I don't want to invest in a new Dodge Charger strictly for Sunday driving, because that's all I really plan to do with it, break it out on the weekends, not drive it day to day. I didn't want to go get a Hellcat or even a SRT, 60, 70, $80,000, just for weekend driving, just for tooling around. I'm not a racer. I'm not anything like that. But I was interested in them, and I have been interested in them for a while. And I wanted to find one that was perfect for me and my needs. Now, the car itself is not perfect. It's an older model car, but it has not too many miles on it. The miles were reasonable on the car, and I could tell by the person that I purchased the car from that it had been very well taken care of. I didn't want a car with a whole lot of modifications on it, strictly because I knew that meant that it was going to be driven hard, that it was going to be, and I'm not going to say abused, but I am going to say that, like I said, it had been driven with all of the performance mods that are out there, everything from the exhaust system to the air breathing system, the suspension and everything like that. I wanted a car that was pretty close to factory, and I was able to find this one. They did a few things to it. It has a wide body kit on there that was installed, and it looks pretty good. And it has a few imperfections here and there, but those are things that I can live with. The engine is strong, the transmission is strong, the suspension is strong. It has a gorgeous interior. And so overall, I'm happy with it, and even more so, I was able to pay cash for it. And so it's paid for. But the things that I wanted to go over as far as owning these cars is, you need to sit down and ask yourself, why do I want to own a Dodge Charger? I know that they're fast, I know that they're loud, and I know that they're not too bad looking. But what is the true reason that you want to own a Dodge Charger? I've seen the videos, and I'm sure everyone has seen the videos online. Every time you look up, a Charger is running from the police, and especially in Arkansas. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but every time, I know everybody's seen those videos, running from the police. And if that's any motivation for you owning one of these cars, is that you want to get out here and run from the police and do this or that or the other, make sure that you watch all of those videos that are posted online. Don't just watch the ones where they were able to escape or evade the police or the undefeated charger, this or that or the other. Make sure you watch all of them, because some of those videos, and most of them, if you look, um, they don't always get away. And believe me, there are repercussions for running from the police. And in some states, you can lose your car, lose your freedom. And in the midst of running from the police, you could lose your life. So, if that's your motivation for getting one of these cars, if you feel like you can tool around or drive around the city, and being a younger person, I see, having been young, I understand your way of thinking. But seeing so many young people um, get these cars, and they're not hard to get, from what I can tell. I had a nephew that had one, a black SRT, a black Scat Pack 392. And right now, that car has been totaled out for about 6 years. Uh, and it is sitting out in the country behind his uncle's house, and he's still paying for it. Um, and he wrecked it while running from the police. So not only does he have to finish paying for this car that he can't even drive, he is also, has to have legal counsel and pay the fines and stuff associated with that. So I beg you and I implore you, if your reasoning for owning one of these vehicles is that you think you can get out here and drive it hard and do those things, and then when the police come, your frame of mind is that you can run from the police, I would ask that you take some time out and rethink your decisions, for the parents, and like I said, for the wives and the girlfriends and all of those guys. Please consider, having that conversation, um, because these cars are fun. They are, and they're a joy to own. So far, mine has been. It's fun to drive, but it's a responsibility also. There's a huge responsibility as it relates to owning a high-power sports car, a supercar as they call them. And sometimes you're just not ready. Your frame of mind is not ready. And especially if it's your daily driver. Fortunately, I have another couple of vehicles that I use to go to work, to do this or that or the other. Like I said, I just want to use it essentially as a weekender, just to, ride around and be home by dark. And that's essentially what my plan is for my charger. So if you're listening to this videos, I'm not looking for subscribers. Don't follow me, follow Jesus. So, please just have that conversation. Make sure that you have that conversation with your loved one. And it could be a young lady. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything like that, but the majority of the chases I've seen, I think 99% of them are young men, running from the police. And, there is a cost, associated with running from the police. Even if you get away the first time, even if you get away the second time, there's always going to be that time that you don't get away. And, heaven forbid you, in the midst of running from the police, you kill somebody or you kill yourself. That's a life that you can't get back, and a life that you can't give back. So, please bear that in mind. Other than that, guys, hey, get you a charger if that's what you think you're ready for. Have that conversation not only with your family, but have it with yourself, and get out here and enjoy yourself. And when those blue lights get behind you, just be man enough to stop and to take your medicine. Y'all be blessed.